Furman. I'm with AJF Engineering and Inspections. I'm a certified home inspector in the state of Arizona. Today we're going to talk about electrical panels. What do we actually look for? What are some of the issues that we may find while we do our inspection? We've got an example here. This is one thing we look for is a main disconnect. This is the circuit breaker here that turns all the power off to the house. This one happens to be a 200 amp service, which is typical for a house of this size. We're going to take this inner cover off, and this is your main circuit breaker right here. This is your different connections, your ground, your neutral wires. We're looking for any scorched or burned insulation over here. Make sure your connections are all nice and tight. Don't see any corrosion, that kind of stuff. And what happens is this breaker, the main breaker, feeds power into this part of the electrical panel, which is where your individual circuit breakers are. One of the problems this panel has is there's no outer cover. There's supposed to be a cover that goes on the outside, and then there's an inner cover here, so the outer cover is missing. Also, we don't have any of these circuit breakers labeled. It makes our job a little bit difficult to do because certain breakers should be feeding certain things in the house, like the range, the air conditioner, the water heater, the circuits in the kitchen, and they have certain requirements on what those breakers should be and what circuit size they should be. So without any labeling at all, we don't really have any idea where any of these wires or circuits go. So we would make a note of that. We then take the inner cover off. We want to be able to get to what's back here, which is the guts of the electrical panel. So what we have here is, this is your bus bar here, and that's where your circuit breakers clip in. Because this panel is a 200 amp panel and the house is not that big, you've got plenty of room in here to add any extra circuit breakers if you wanted to. The other thing we look for is any scorching or burning where these wires are connected to the breaker on the bus bar, and I don't see any there. The other thing is, these are 15 amp breakers. There should be a certain wire size associated with these. These here are 20 amp breakers. They should also have a 12 gauge wire on them. They require a thicker wire. It's basically where the breaker is designed to protect the wire from overheating, and so when you have a certain size breaker, you need to have a certain size wire to go with it. So that's one of the things we look at. So that's basically what we look for in an electrical panel.